The Senate continues to push ahead on immigration reform. It approved the border security surge amendment today, which sets the stage for a final vote on the landmark legislation as early as tomorrow. Now, if passed, the bill, which pours billions into border security and does offer a path to citizenship for millions of people, the bill still has an uncertain future in the House. And for the Republicans who backed the bill, there is a major conservative backlash, which just may be beginning. Joining us now to talk about it all, we welcome back Arizona Republican Senator Jeff Flake. He is a member of the Gang of Eight. As always, Mr. Flake, it's great to see you. So what I gather now is from one of the blog sites or websites in Arizona, there's a movement to recall you because you've been supporting this. What do you think of it?
Well, I feel like I've passed a rite of passage, I guess, in the Senate, recall petitions being taken out. I think Senator McCain and Senator Kyle had the same done to them.
I mean, it's amazing to me. These are good friends of mine. This is a family quarrel. But, you know, people like Ann Coulter have been on the attack. People like Mark Levin have been on the attack. Let's see. Sarah Palin called for Senator Ayotte to step down or to lose or some such thing. What is the why is this so emotional in your judgment? What is the thing that's crucifying all of this?
Well, I think there's understandable and justifiable skepticism in the federal government's ability to carry this out. The promises have been made before that haven't been kept. That's why in this legislation with regard to border security, and this Corker-Hoven amendment adds substantially to the significant border security elements of the bill. We put in triggers that have to be tripped in order for anybody to adjust status. A certain number of miles of fence have to be built. Mileposts have to be achieved, like entry-exit system has to be fully deployed, EVerify. And so I think it's people's justifiable skepticism in government that is causing this outrage.
Well, no doubt. But one of the things I hear all the time, again, from conservative friends of mine, is that the legalization comes before the border security. And if that weren't bad enough, the Department of Homeland Security, Napolitano, is going to run the whole operation. So I don't know which is worse, the legalization or Napolitano. But that's what I hear again and again and again. Can you respond to that? Is that true?
You bet. Let me take the second one first. What we do in the legislation is not just mandate that a certain number of miles of fence be built or that certain mileposts, like I said, in terms of EVerify and entry-exit system are put in place. We got a punch list from the Border Patrol. It said, what would you need to secure the border? You know, different kinds of technology, you know, radar, a certain number of planes, certain number of helicopters. We gave them exactly what they want and said, this is the minimum that DHS can do. So there is some latitude beyond the minimum that they can adjust to, but they have to do certain things, and that's because I think we have justifiable skepticism.
But doesn't that take time? This is the part I don't get. Look, I worked in the government. I worked for Reagan and OMB. Certain policy changes take time. If you're going to add 20,000 border agents, let's say, for example, okay, you can't just do that overnight. That's going to take a while. You're
right, and that's what leads to the second part of your question. Why can't we just postpone legalization or the so-called RPI status for those who are here legally? It takes a couple of years to get EVerify implemented nationwide. It'll take a couple of years to build the fence. It'll take several years to hire the border agents. During this time, unless you believe in the principle of self-deportation, then these people are going to be here. And the best thing that we can do is bring them out of the shadows and put them on a probationary status without benefits. And that's what we're doing here. And so in order for them to adjust to green card status, these mileposts have to be hit. But until then, I think all of us want to bring them out of the shadows, and that's what this does.
So is there any way you and Senator Rubio and others, Senator Ayotte, how can you explain that to the Mark Levins of the world, to the Ann Coulters of the world? And these are very good friends of mine, by the way. They're people I respect and I have great affection for. I understand it, or at least I think I do. Can you get them them to understand it, because there's so much internecine warfare going on in the GOP right now.
Well, like I said, I understand the skepticism that's out there. I share it. But I can tell you, I've worked on this legislation, and I know that we have certain provisions in there. We've done our best to make sure that certain things have to be done before other things occur. The triggers are firm here. And where people are skeptical of who decides when that trigger is hit, we've put in provisions that have to occur. Certain number of border agents have to be hired. These are objective measures. Certain miles of fence have to be built. These are objective measures that people point out after '86. A lot of these promises were made, but were never kept. We make sure that before anybody can adjust their status, these things have to occur. So there's pretty good incentive there.
All right, we'll leave it there, Senator Jeff Flake. You know, sir, I'll just say this, my personal editorial, I think you guys are profiles in courage. I disagree with some of my conservative brothers and sisters. I think immigration reform is good for the economy. I think it's good for the whole country. I think it's going to be good for the border security as well. Anyway, all the best of luck. Keep on plugging. Thank you very much, Jeff.